Joxy dropped, it looks like, so we're going to get an update on what happened to his PC in there. He's on the countdown right now.
Exactly. So it looks like we have a bit of a delay and have to restart the game. So for some reason, it did not really work out. Looks like, yeah, we have to restart it. Nope, there we go. Might need a restart after all. We have a pause right now, and if Joxy is okay with it, then we should be able to resume the game in just a few seconds.
Yeah, I mean, literally it was at the very beginning, so both players just started their initial SCV. I don't think anything was interrupted. They're both at the exact same production time.
Thank God for auto mining.
Yes. If there was a problem with his PC lagging, for example, he may want to actually restart his client or something like that. They're just making sure there's no problems with the computers, what they say in chat right now. And you know, rightfully so. You don't want this to happen later on once, you know, we have 200 armies perhaps clashing on Whirlwind.
Yeah. I mean, we have resume replay, so take command, the new feature that was introduced to Heart of the Swarm. So worst case scenario is we are just resuming the replay. That's something. But every single time when I see like a loading screen suddenly pop up and one of the players lagging out, my heart just drops for a second because I'm like, okay, well, I'm reminded of all those times in Wings of Liberty where we had this problem where the game then had either to be resumed or not resumed, but we had to restart the game, or where one of the players had to be given a free win.
You know what's so funny is I can't think of a time since the feature was implemented that it was actually used, which is kind of funny. It's like, it just goes to show how few times the players actually drop, but it does happen from time to time.
There were a couple of times where it was used, but it's just, I think it's like 4 times in total, or 3. So not a lot. It wasn't really as important, but it's always nice to have that safety net.
Yeah. So they're just continuing to make sure there's no problems. To give you guys an update on the spawning locations, they're cross spawns on the map, and assuming we don't remake the game, they're currently cross spawns, and of course neither of them knows that.
Yep.
So remaking the game wouldn't actually change anything.
But despite that, everything is exactly the same, so Joxy wouldn't have lost any mining time or anything here. Both are at 7 supply right now, 25 minerals, and started the SCV already. So either we're going to see a quick restart, but if Joxy is okay, the game will be resumed in just a few seconds as soon as the admins are sure that whatever caused this lag at the beginning of the match does not influence the game later on.
Yeah, looks like they're saying they're just going to start.
Okay, great. So we're heading into the game right away. Keep in mind that currently MVP is up with 2 points against NS HoSeo, Joxy being the 3rd player now for the team. So if Joxy loses, then there's only 1 player left for Keen to defeat and for MVP to defeat. Things are looking really good. If MVP wins today, they will be in the pole position of the rankings once again. Will take this first slot, and NS HoSeo would drop down all the way to the bottom, even be below Prime.
So you can see Observer gave the countdown, said start, players going back into everything normally. I guess we got to introduce our players. The top left for NS HoSeo in the red, it is their ace, it is
NS HoSeo Joxy.
Still the strongest player for the team, the player they rely on the most. A former GSL champion, defeated Linok in the finals. And his opponent starting to the bottom right of the map in blue with 2 kills already today.
MVP Keen.
Commander Keen with his post.
Looks like he wants to make good on his 11-11 promise this game. Sending out 2 SCVs. Straight to the watchtower. Will not actually be able to identify his opponent's location right away.
Yeah, but that's something that you know right away from the beginning if you do this on this match.
All Keen! There's Joxy. Well, he did win the GSL a long time ago.
Better times, exactly. But yeah, if you go for an 11-11 on a map like this, you always build them in the middle of the map, and then you send out the first SCV, try to find out where your opponent actually spawned and rally the units across. So that's just what you do. And usually, most Terran players, or most players in general, would scout, in the case of Joxy, either the bottom left or the top right. Very few actually send out the first scout to be cross-spawn so that they would see with the Zalnaga Watchtower that there isn't a double 11.
Right. You know what's funny about this is, in my games of watching Joxy and TVT, I feel like maybe only one time he did not command center first. Most of the time he goes command center first, so this is a pretty smart build by Keen. Unfortunately for him though, he is definitely going to get the worst end of the trade, as it is a Reaper opening coming out right now for Joxy, and he should be able to defend this just fine. But if he sends his Reaper in a weird direction and happens to not
He's going cross-spawn. He's going cross-spawn, and he will see it right away. He's not going bottom left or top right. He sees it already, and this is for Keen the worst case scenario. We should see a bunker in just a few seconds, and as soon as he has the gas with the factory and potential Hellions, shouldn't be a problem for him.
He's going to try to block the bunker here. Oh, nicely done. He's blocking the bunker. If he can just hold it for a little bit longer. No, not going to happen.
Yeah. And the Reaper is now out, so this is not looking good for Keen at all. The only thing that Jagchi has to do here is delay this a little bit. That's what he already does, taking out the first Marine. That's what he's trying to do here. With good micro, this shouldn't be a problem at all. Losing one SCV here, needs to be careful with his Reaper, but doing a decent amount of damage, killing those 2 SCVs already, saving his own just barely. The bunker now up at the front. There will be in a second, so this is not going to work for Keen.
Yeah, Keen's going to have to transition at home. He has been building SCVs the entire time, so he's just a few behind.
But still, he has no gas. We already have the factory now being built for Jagchi. Jagchi has a massive lead in the game.
And it looks like Keen's just going to go into a CC. The problem for him, of course, being that if the Reaper sees the CC undefended, he can just kill the SCV that's building it and just continue to do that.
Marines rallying across the map, but they cannot really do a lot. They can delay the command center on the low ground a little bit, but it's not like they can really just go up that ramp.
Well, the depot is on. They should not be able to go up the ramp, but he does deny it. He puts the depot up.
Headshots the Marine. And now the only thing that Jagchi has to do is use that Reaper to get the scouting information in the main base, seeing of course the command center here, which is very much delayed, and we have Jagchi just going with this plan right from the beginning. He was trying to do a bit of damage, and he's going into his drop play now.
Yeah, the Reaper just continuing to check. He wants to see if anything weird is happening. Also, we'll be able to see the barracks floating back. As you said, Keen can only just hope to delay the barracks, or the command center on the low ground. This is one of those games where his builder just got deflected, and it's not lost, but he definitely is fighting an uphill battle.
2 brave Marines, even with 4 Marines, they're not going to break through here. Building a bunker at the front, really trying to delay this expansion for as long as he possibly can. But one of the big problems that he has is that back at home he doesn't have the barracks and no production buildings to really get a lot of units that can defend against the Banshee with Cloak that is now going to be sent out to the bottom right as soon as it's completed.
Salvage on that bunker, but he's certainly not coming down here anytime soon.
No, he needs a few more units than what he currently has, especially when the bunker is being completed, which is going to be the case in just a few seconds. Oh, but Keen walks back with a lot of his units. Well,
this is weird. I don't think he should.
Yeah, he can't commit against the bunker of his opponent, so that was really a little bit odd.
I like his choice to send Marines back, though, because he knows that something is coming. He's like, all right, you didn't even try to break down yet,
yeah.
so...
And it was the perfect timing. The bunker was just about to be completed, and he knew very well that with the bunker and the SCV there to repair, he can just hold this for a bit longer. So Keen is really trying to claw his way back now from the position that he had earlier. And now the main question is, how much damage can Jagchi do with the Banshee?
Yeah, and you know, Keen is basically building the Swiss Army knife of Banshee defense right now with getting a Widow Mine. He's getting the starport out for Vikings. Of course, the first Viking will be a long way off, but he does have the eBay finish now, so he goes into +1. And if he starts a turret blind here, that'll be great for him. He also has 2 CCs, one of which has a scan currently.
Yeah. Even if he doesn't start the missile turret right away, he will do so after he sees the Banshee coming in. And with the Widow Mine that is now also in the... Now I'm just a little bit indecisive here where exactly he wants to borrow.
Oh, this is great. He could borrow it right now and force the cloak.
Yeah, and a little bit too late. Widow Mine goes down, but he knows what's coming, and here comes the Banshee, but he can scan if he wants to.
Yeah.
To save those SCVs.
He has no turrets maybe the Viking is almost out.
Doesn't have the money.
He just needs to make sure he saves his rallying Marines.
There's the turret now, and we have the Viking nearly there. Few Marines are going down. They don't have combat shield, so he can 2-hit them instead of using 3 shots.
Yeah, this is just I mean, there's nothing Keen can do here. I mean, he might as well just run away with the Marines.
Yeah, he's doing as much as he can, and is just trying to delay this. But as you already said, Jagchi is in a position where he can take down a few Marines, but that is not enough. Jagchi is still in a supply lead, but Keen is going to take down this Banshee eventually, but the second one is already on the way, but with the missile turret now in the mineral line, it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, he needs to make sure he has Marines over there, because 1 turret alone will not be enough. He has to...
Taking on the supply depot too.
Yeah, that was a little bit strange. We had no repair on that. That actually supply blocks Keen heavily.
Okay, so now looking at this, Harvest is killed by Jakji, 5 in total. Key now has his own expansion running. The same is true for Jakji. Jakji is also heading into a 3rd orbital, which is not the case for Keen just yet. Siege tank production is a little bit faster for the MVP Terran player, though. We have 2 to the top left for Jakji, but Keen... Oh no, actually Jakji is ahead in siege tanks. Keen is just building now against first, I think.
Yes.
Makes the production tab up here. Sorry.
Yep, you're right. Right now, if this were Akalon, Jakji would be moving across the map to kill him. Because, yeah, he only killed 5 SC, but he killed a lot of Marines. And he knows that the tech is delayed. So, you know, if this were a smaller map, he would definitely just be like, alright, I'm going to kill you now. But since it's not, he's going to try to get ahead in upgrades. The problem for him, though, is that Keen already has +1. He also has Stim. And this Banshee did not do a critical amount of damage.
Yeah, and it's going to run out of energy, and that's something that he knows. He just has to follow it with the Viking. He already baited out the Cloak very early with the Medivac, dropping those Marines. So wow, he actually doesn't take down the Banshee.
That was a little bit weird.
He could have taken out the Banshee easily. It was already running out of energy, and he knew that.
Lazy Viking.
Yeah, very lazy Viking.
The upgrades continuing out here, and there's going to be a window, of course, where +1 is ahead for Keen, but with a double E-base for his opponent, Jakji, he should be able to equalize. All it comes down to the armory timing, really.
Yeah, Jakji is still trying, Keen is still trying to catch up here. Jakji still has a bit of a lead with the double upgrades that he has, with a faster 3rd command center. All these things just working in his favor. But if Keen gets good engagements here, then he can certainly make his way back into the match. Because, to be frank, the Banshees alone haven't done as much damage as Jakji had hoped for here.
Yeah.
Did a fair amount, but still. Like, when your opponent does such an opening and you go for the Banshee play, you expect to do a little bit more damage than that. And I feel that Jakji's control there could have been a bit better.
I agree. Getting the depot was nice at the end, but otherwise, not too much done. This Banshee tries to find an opening, the Viking on patrol. Quite literally here.
Just barely dodges it.
You know, I feel like there were some timings Jakji had. He could have tried to hit with his attack advantage. Did not do it. And now Keen has basically equalized everything. I mean, the cloak tech is not going to be useful going forward here.
Keen knows that the 3rd base is not there just yet, at least not mining. He has his own double upgrades now coming up, and he has the +2 attack upgrade even a little bit faster, so his armory lines up perfectly with this. As soon as he starts the +2 armor upgrade, he's going to be even ahead of his opponent in upgrades. Jakji had this double engineering bay a little bit faster, but he's missing a lot of time here that he could have used, so Keen is not only catching up in upgrades, he's actually going to take the lead.
Yeah, no armory at all for Jakji.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I just checked it.
I saw it.
Oh, no, he does. It was blocked by something on the screen. He does have it.
Yeah, but he doesn't use the upgrades, and he's really falling behind. But Keen didn't start his armor upgrade just yet. There it is. And now Keen a bit ahead in upgrades. And also starting to equalize the overall supply. He's taking his 3rd base at exactly the same time as Jakji does.
Yeah, Jakji just gets only a slight lead on that one. And, of course, forces a cloak here. Not too important. I feel like this game is Jakji's game to lose because this is the style that he is the most comfortable with.
I mean, Jakji still has a bit of a better army, he's 20 supply ahead of his opponent, but things are equalizing more and more, and at some point, if Keen gets a good engagement, this will completely turn. But Jakji still has a decent position here. It could have been a little bit better, given how well he dealt with Keen's opening in the beginning, but still, he still has a lead.
Yeah, you know, I'm thinking of different ways that Jakji could try to use his advantage, but on this map, it's just so difficult. This is going to be a disaster. Oh, that was so close.
Just takes an eternity for him to cross the map, and he would be spotted fairly soon.
Yeah, so he just has to eventually slow push or do dream drops or something like that. You know, he wants to take control of the map. He has the watchtowers. He has Marines split all over the right side of the map. You can see them on the mini-map. They're ready to spot drops.
Banshee, yeah, he takes the Banshee out. Drop play is going to be really important. I feel that Jakji, as far as I know, he doesn't know about the 3rd base just yet. He expected it to be at that pocket base that you have towards the middle of the map and not to the bottom left.
Yeah, he doesn't see it yet.
So he might actually just missed it and assume for now that Keen does have a delayed 3rd base, which is not the case here. The transition for Yeah, at this point we have like even the +3 attack upgrade coming faster for Keen, so Keen does really good job with his macro.
Yeah.
And getting the 4th.
4th goes up. I feel like Jockey is such a passive player, but he's good at being defensive in TVT. He has to make sure he doesn't get caught with his pants down with this small force up to the top right, though. Yeah. Drops loaded. Oh, he's spotted.
Jockey has a huge army, though. It's a really, really big army. Scans going down for both players, trying to find out what exactly is happening here. 4th base now being built by Jockey. Keen is starting to equalize the score. We still have a bit more resources for Jockey that he can use.
Mineral field depleted.
I think Keen's just waiting for a command center to fly over here. He's going to trap it.
The Marine actually missed. No, it didn't miss.
This is exactly what Jockey does over here. Unfortunately for him, there's a defense set up.
Yep. Keen gets out with his drop. Jockey is not that lucky. And now suddenly it's Keen who takes the supply advantage. Yes, we still have a better bank for Jockey, but Keen is really starting to get a hang of this. He didn't start his +3 armor upgrade, so that will give... Now, there we go.
Keen is pretty fearless, you know. He doesn't need the armor. He feels like he comes to his senses eventually, but his initial opinion is, nah, I don't need that.
This push out is going to be very important, but at this point it's in very equal game too.
I think this guy actually hurt more than helped Jockey because now he's a little bit out of position. This bunker is so nice, but it goes down instantly.
He can do so much damage right now, but he needs to be careful with also those missile turrets defending the main base. And yeah, he's not heading into them. But still, he delayed the attack. He has his own 4th base already up and is mining from it. So Keen in a really good spot here. He transitioned out so well from this 11-11 and is now in a great position here in the macro game against his opponent.
Yeah, Keen has just constantly little armies around the map, but that's what makes Jockey's army look so much stronger because in a straight-up fight, it is. But when it comes to map control, Jockey's got no control over this map. Oh, almost gets the drop with its full units.
Really well done. But we also have the +2 attack upgrade for the siege tanks now being researched for Keen, so he's really taking a lead in this.
Oh, they wanted to bait him into those siege tanks.
Yeah. If Jockey gets a good position, then he can certainly hit this board, but this is going to be very difficult to execute. Keen, though, he does miss that completely.
Yeah, he has no idea. This is a big problem. It is a planetary, so he can save it for a little bit longer.
Nah, that's way too much DPS. That was a bit awkward. I feel that he saw this army, but he didn't realize it was walking towards the right.
He's taking a bad thing and turning it into a good one, though, because he has this better position with his tanks, and now he's running into the natural with this other army.
Exactly, he's going for the counter-aggression instead, sacrificing his own 4th base, building another ninja expansion.
Gets the tanks?
And he's getting 2 of them. He's getting a lot more. This is like, he's getting the production, but a major drop now in the main base of Keen.
Well, the drop is fairly dealt with. He's not quite done with it yet. But Jockey is naked here.
The siege tank in the main base is not sieging up, Wolf. Jockey's losing his entire main base now.
Yeah. The drop on the tanks here, but there's enough army to support.
Yeah, that's definitely enough to make this happen, and it looks like Keen is in such a great position that it will be very difficult for Jockey to survive this, especially with the base now being built at the bottom left.
Yeah. That's such a smart base because he knows if he has to start lifting for any reason, he can relocate over there. 3-3 about to finish for Keen. He's been down on upgrades for a few seconds here.
Jockey is losing his entire production right now. The SCVs coming in, taking down the tanks that we have over here.
Yeah, that siege up was a mistake. He should have kept him in tank mode there.
Supply lead for Keen, still losing buildings in his main base, but he's doing so much more damage to the top left now.
Yeah, and now he's equalized the upgrades. And dropping the mules here, saying, get out, Jockey. Get out, and HoSeo's ace.
Dropping the mule, dropping everything that Jockey had in the base of the top right. A 40 supply lead already. The SCV is now moving in. Finally, Jockey is able to throw this push back at the top left, but at what cost?
His whole infrastructure is gone.
Yeah, he's down 30 supply. He has to rebuild everything. Keen is still looking strong. He's hitting his production cycles. And this base that Jockey sends out of the command center that he sends out to the bottom left, the only thing it will find is already a base being built by Keen.
Yeah. That's kind of funny how that works out.
And that also shows Keen where the command center is.
Yeah. And he can just go kill it. Things looking very dire very suddenly for the HoSeo player.
Jockey lost most of his production buildings. That's why he had to rebuild everything at his 4th base. Keen, on the other hand, he still has a lot of production buildings left, and he can just now hit one unit cycle after another, and that will give him this massive lead that he already has. It will even increase it. He's 50 supply ahead, and he's now just walking across the map and trying to end it.
All these mules... Oh, no, don't do it. Okay. He could have made those 30 minerals disappear from history forever.
Yeah.
this push, if Joxy gets in a good position, can be defended, but it's not going to be easy, and his siege up is a little bit slow.
Only 2 siege tanks for Joxy, 4 for his opponent, third one coming in, but it's already too late. The siege tanks are gone, and so are the hopes of Joxy to win this game. GG. And Keen is 1 game away from all killing NS HoSeo.
Gets the 3 kill, a very disappointed Joxy, a very passive Joxy in this game. You know, it's like when he had the better army the whole time, but he did not use it to control anything. So an army is only as good as what you do with it, and if all you're doing is sitting, then Keen is going to pick you apart. He always had 3 groups of units everywhere on the map, and Joxy's defense was solid against those armies, but he never was able to stop Keen's 4th base until it was too late, and Keen had the better position, then went for that big counterattack, and it almost makes it seem like it was intentional that he let the 4th base die, because he just knew he had that opening.
Coming into this team match today, we were asking ourselves if this is going to be the revival, the reincarnation of NS HoSeo, if it's going to be the funeral, and it looks like it's going to be the latter. We have Keen about to all kill NS HoSeo. Joxy is already down, and things are looking very grim. NS HoSeo are more and more becoming the punching bag of the league, as well as Prime. People were joking on the forums that they find themselves now in the easy TL zone, and that is definitely true. Both of them are now in such a bad spot, and they are just basically giving points to other teams.
Exactly. You know, it's like whenever
it's a bit harsh, but
it's just the reality. It's like whenever one of these teams hits NS HoSeo Prime, they're like, well, this is going to improve our indicator. And Keen, 3 kills, man. He played a beautiful game, in fact. Joxy played well, but he was a bit too passive in that game. His Banshee did not do a lot of damage, so that was the one tech advantage he had. And he's like, well, you did a 11-11, so I've got this one window. Do I go for Siege Tank push? Do I go for Hellbat drop? Do I drop Widow Mines in your base? Or do I go Cloak Banshees? Cloak Banshees did not do enough damage.
He could have done a bit more. The unit control was not perfect there, so Keen bounces back, goes into the macro game, and it takes it, especially, of course, with the attack to the top left. He sacrifices his 3rd base for it and is like, okay, well, as long as I defend my bases, it was actually the 4th base that he had. As long as I defend the other 3 bases with the siege tank line that I have set up, I can send Marines over to the top left, and you will be completely out of position. Keen takes the game, has to defeat 1 more player to get the all kill today. And the question, of course, remains who's going to be the ace. Will we once again see Tassadar? Is it going to be Sanai?
Yeah, Sanai came out last. Last time he did not do the best game anyone has ever seen.
Yeah, let's just forget about the game. That just didn't happen. Yeah, I mean, he probably just looked at the rewards later on and was like, oh my god, what happened there?
Yeah, I don't know how the Koreans treated him after, for that game, but we were pretty honest about it when it happened. It was a little bit weird.
I feel he was nervous.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think so.
The game didn't make any sense at all. Those decisions, yeah, that was very awkward. So I feel he was just very, very nervous, and that it was a bit too much for him being the last player.
I think
having all the hopes on his shoulders.
Because of this, they might not use him, because he came out and got nervous last time, he choked last time, and maybe he's overcome it, but I'm thinking Tassadar is the only one who's got the experience. We're going to find out right now. Will it be the fighter against the Conclave, the Rebel Tassadar? It is.
It is Tassadar once again.
Going to charge up and pull a Blanca maybe, or some Psionic Storms.
Yeah, he needs to do something now, and Keen, of course, is very unimpressed here. He knows that it would have been either Tassadar or Sanai. Coach of NS HoSeo, not too happy. Can't blame him.
Nope. Tassadar looking angry. 6 and 14. That is a rough win rate when you look at it like that, but most of those wins come from a very different time. Tassadar, a very aggressive player, known for his timing attacks, but you know, he was winning games on Xel'Naga Fortress and Dual Sight back in the day, but nowadays he seems a little bit weaker. He's still their ace.
Yeah. Well, guys, before we head into the potential last game of the day, we are jumping into a 5-minute break, and we'll be back with the first season of the GSTL 2013 NS HoSeo and the last leg against Team MVP.